welcome. This is Bigelow Reviews. I am Brent Bigelow. Welcome. This is the first official video. The last thing I put out was just a little test footage, a little teaser just to get you guys excited about today. First off, I want to go over what this channel is going to be. We are going to review albums. I'm going to review them to my best ability, my honest opinion. I'm going to keep it real. I'm going to keep it honest. They're going to try to have no filters on here. Try to keep it as honest as possible. Also today on this video, I'm going to revamp and go over all of the albums I have discussed so far. Well, at least most of them. We're going to talk about the good ones I liked and some of the really bad ones I didn't like so far for 2021. So the first album that came, one of the first few albums I reviewed beginning of 2021 was this really crappy pop album by Why Don't We? Which, first off, that's a terrible band name anyways. But the album title is called The Good Times and the Bad Ones. There was a lot of bad ones on this album. I was not liking this at all. It was not good. It was very lazy pop music. It was like 2000s like boy band rock. I didn't know. Nah. It was everywhere when it came out. Like, it was like Spotify was pushing it, Apple Music was pushing it. I'm like, fine, you listen. If the world wants me to listen to it, I guess I have to listen to it. But it was not good. It was no, not a fan. I ended up giving the album a 14 on the website on Bigelow Reviews, and like out of 100. You know, it's kind of a number that I feel like to give an album. It's not like there's no science put behind it. Just usually that's how I feel. I'm like, how bad is this album? Like, doing math and 14. So yeah, I was not liking that. Why don't we? Why don't we just not listen to them? How about that? Here's an album. This was an album I liked. We have Amperland, New York by Pinegrove. This was like an ode to where they did most of the recording for these. They went back and did live versions of most of the songs. But the songs themselves, they redid all these tracks differently. They recorded them more live, more together. It made like a movie out of it too. So like the whole thing is pretty interesting. The whole rollout was awesome. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed Amperland, New York a lot. I gave it an 82. But like, again, it's like a greatest hits for the band. All their good songs are on there. Some of the songs that they wanted to reimagine are also on there. It's like a compilation. I wouldn't say it's like a new album. There's a lot of really good songs on it too. I really did enjoy it. The new versions of Moment, Dotted Line, and Skyline, all of those are pretty stellar. I recommend checking that out as well. I really enjoyed OK Human by Gizzard. That album was stellar. It was awesome to hear Gizzard in that type of style, like the Baroque pop style with like hardly any rock instrumentation, just a lot of strings, piano. You still have your typical drum set in the background. But it was a really good album. I really did enjoy it. Hearing Rivers Cuomo's voice on a lot of these tracks is awesome. Hearing him sing songs about like quarantine and just being alone, and just his playful like lyrics and very like immature but still grown all at the same time it's welcoming. It's really enjoyable to hear. On playing my piano, Rivers Cuomo is singing about just playing his piano, just nothing in the world matters as long as he's playing his piano. He's like, nee, and nothing in the world mattered. Like there could be a bomb blowing up in the background and he wouldn't notice. He's still playing his piano, just living life, you know. But the album was stellar. My score for it, I gave it a 76, but I think it's aging on me a little bit better than that. So, but I really do enjoy the album a lot. It's really good. Another front runner for album of the year for me as well is Collapsin' Sunbeams by Arlo Parks. That was a fire album too. I liked her vocals and the lyrics on it. The lyrics on this album are just stellar, like mwah, so good. I love the lyrics on this album. Throughout, everything's good. She's originally a poet turned singer-songwriter. There's some great tracks on here. You have Caroline, Black Dog, Green Eyes, Eugene. Too Good. Just about every song on this album, it just hits. It's so good. If you haven't listened to it, I highly recommend. I gave the album a 86 on the website as well. So I really do enjoy that album a lot. An album on here I did not like, which I normally like the band a lot. Like in my room, I literally have a Foo Fighters poster like right over there. But the Medicine at Midnight was not good. There really wasn't a song on here that caught my ear. Shame was boring. I thought that was like a really simple, quiet rock tune. I didn't really enjoy it at all. I gave it a 29 on the website. There was a couple songs on here that had potential. No Son of Mine sounds like a Metallica type thrash song. Like, it had it, but the tempo just wasn't there. Like, literally, if you sped the song up just a little bit, it would have been so much better. But they just sound like they're just dragging on it, and it's boring. Crap! I closed my notes. I closed my notes, guys. Another album I liked. I like Slow Tie's album, Tyrone. That album was pretty good. I gave it a 74. The album was split into like two halves, so the first half had the high energy rap songs on it, and the other half had a lot of like the slow R&B styled songs as well. Really good features. A$AP Rocky's on the album. He dropped a really nice feature. The UK rap, the drill sounds in the album too. It's stellar. I like it a lot. But like I said, read the reviews, check those out. I'll put the links down the bottom so you guys can read those as well. Another album I liked a lot. This one's stellar too. It's not the most mainstream of albums. I don't think you would listen to it in your free time, but if you're like a music connoisseur and like to dig into deeper stuff, I really, really, really enjoyed For the First Time by Black Country New Road. That album is stellar from front to back. It is definitely a journey of an album though. You have to listen to it from the beginning and work your way all the way through. It's ridiculous. It's so good. There's some ridiculous saxophone parts in there. As a saxophone person and one who grew up playing the saxophone in high school and everything, that was interesting. The saxophone parts in there are pretty awesome. I really enjoyed it. And then the singing too. It's very dramatic. It's so dramatic. It sounds like a performance. It's so good. I love that album. Here's an album that left me like really disappointed. Jumping off of like kind of the massive Phoebe Bridgers phase that the world and music kind of went on in 2020. Julian Baker of Boy Genius fame and kind of like runs the same circles as Phoebe Bridger released another solo album of hers called Little Oblivions. I wasn't feeling it. There's a couple songs that I liked. I really like Faith Healer and Song in E. Those are good. I would recommend checking Song in E especially. But I didn't really find the album too spectacular. It was okay. I gave it a 40 on the website as well. King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard released the second half of their double LP album that they released separately called LW, with the previous one being KG, because King Gizzard and Lizard Wizard only makes sense. I liked it. King Gizzard's ridiculous. The band themselves, there's something to admire. If you're a rock band, they release music religiously, and it's impressive. I go into detail about all of that in the review that I wrote. Check it out. But I ended up giving the album a 79. I love King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. It's not my favorite project of theirs, but it's pretty good. My favorite album of theirs, though, is Infest the Rasnets that came out in 2019. That is a hard album. Giveon frustrated me this year. He released like 2 EPs the last couple years with some great songs on there. Great song. I really enjoyed a lot of Giveon's music, but the thing is like he releases album, air quotes, album. It was just all the songs from the EPs put together. I'm like, that's not an album. That's like just an extra release. I did not like that. That's not releasing a new project. That's lazy. I hate that. It drives me nuts. I lost respect a little bit for Giveon. I love the music a lot, but doing stuff like that really frustrates me. And then coming up on some of the more recent reviews I did, we have Justin Bieber's Justice. Not a big fan of the album. I like it more than Changes. Changes is dog crap. I did not like that album from last year. Yummy is one of the worst pop songs ever that even got played on the radio. That song was everywhere, and it was dog shit. Not good. I did not like it at all. But Justice by Justin Bieber, it had some songs. A lot of people like Peaches, but I feel like the best parts of Peaches wasn't Justin Bieber though. It was Daniel Caesar and Giveon again. But I mean, my biggest issue with that album was all the Martin Luther King things that he did on there. Like he had the very beginning song of the album had Martin Luther King leading into the first song. But like then he had the Martin Luther King interlude where he's basically talking about how you should be living life willing to live and die for something, We all know what Martin Luther King is talking about when he says living and dying for something, right? Justin, leading into the song, he takes his influences of living and dying for something, but he applies it to, like, I'm gonna live and die for my girl. Like, it's such a condescending way to use a Martin Luther King lyric in words. That's such an inappropriate use of power. Like, that's not good. It's not a good look, and it's like my biggest issue with it. And he was saying that he was trying to use Martin Luther King's words in the album to get other kids to start listening to Martin Luther King, like he's like some new SoundCloud rapper or something. Like, we all know what Martin Luther King did. Like, we don't need you to tell us what he did, Justin Bieber. Chill. Like the More Than Changes as a whole, I gave it a 45. Then the most recent one I released this probably a week or two ago, was the Group Love album. I love Group Love. I remember listening to them when I was in high school. Big fan. I liked it a lot. This album was This Is This, stellar. I gave it a 77. There's a few songs that I also liked. We have Seagulls. Seagulls is a fun track. Shout. And then Prime Time. The intro track, it hits you like with a wall of sound just to start the album off. It's pretty spectacular. So that's it. That to catch you up to speed with some of the albums that I've listened to in 2021. If you want to know what I did in 2020 and some of my favorite albums from then, feel free to check that out on the website too. That way you have some type of a back catalog, what Bigelow Reviews has done in the written word. And now we're going to start the new chapter here in 2021 with the video. Thank you guys for watching. Feel free to share, leave a comment, tell me what you think. If you have any strong opinions, especially about the Justin Bieber album, because I know some of my friends do and I did not like it and they loved it, feel free to do that. Comment, share, subscribe, follow me on Twitter, Bigelow Reviews, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Have a great day.